Recommendations from the Banking Royal Commission are in Parliament. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your ice-cold stein of coffee, because it's wonderfully hot here in Brisbane today. That's why I have the audio removal software to get rid of my fan and the neighbour who seems to be working on his tools today, of all days. So, the more Royal Commission legislation is introduced into Parliament, and let's have a look at this article by Annie Kane from Mortgage Business. Because remember, when the Banking Royal Commission came out and all these rules and legislative changes and things all came into place, but then it all seemed to get thrown out the window once times got a little tough and they wanted to get another can of diesel and throw it on the property bonfire, to keep that bubble going. So, a package of legislation addressing 20 recommendations and one additional commitment from the Banking Royal commitment, including the reference checking and information sharing protocol for brokers, has been introduced into Parliament. Now, I suspect a whole lot of this Banking Royal Commission. Notice what happened to the share prices when it came out. All the brokers got hit and the banks did well. So I think more of the blame has been put on the brokers and the bankers. Perhaps unjustly so. On Thursday, the Financial Services Reform Hayne Royal Commission Response Bill 2020 was introduced into Parliament. The package of legislation addresses 20 recommendations and one additional commitment from the Hayne Royal Commission into misconduct in the banking, superannuation and financial services industry. The bill includes the new obligation for credit licensees and representatives that are providing credit assistance to a consumer, including mortgage brokers, to investigate reportable situations that may affect customers and has reasonable grounds to suspect that the affected customer has suffered or will suffer loss or damage as a result of the reportable situation and has a legally enforceable right to recover the loss or damages from the licensee. Oh boy. So really, fundamentally, taking more responsibility away from the individual and putting it to third parties. It really is frustrating. It just seemed to be are people just getting dumber? Are we just intentionally dumbing down people, expecting less and less of the individual, less and less of the consumer? Is that where it's heading? I've got another article that's looking people are not even taking their finances seriously until their 30s. Financial literacy is pretty much non-existent, I'd say, definitely in Australia, and I'd say many other countries in the world too. Under the new legislation, an investigation into such matters must be commenced within 30 days after the licensee representative has been made aware of it. It also must be completed as soon as is reasonably practical after it is commenced, according to the bill. The investigation must identify the conduct that gave rise to the reportable situation, quantify the loss or damage that there are reasonable grounds to believe the affected consumer has suffered or will suffer as a result of the reportable situation. The affected consumer has a legally enforceable right to recover from the licensee and do anything else prescribed by the regulations. Reasonable steps must then be taken to notify the affected consumer of the outcome of the investigation, which must also be issued in writing within 10 days after the investigation is complete. Failure to meet the above obligations comes with a penalty of 5,000 penalty units, approximately $1.1 million. What do you reckon, everyone? Think this is a good thing or a fair thing? Mortgage brokers will also now be subject to the reference checking and information sharing protocol in generally the same manner as they relate to Australian financial services licensees. The amendment aims to ensure that there is consistent practice throughout the industry and that employment information will be available about all financial advisors and mortgage brokers. This would mean that any past misconduct conducted by a licensee that is moving from one industry to another, for example, a financial planner that then seeks to become a broker, can be ascertained more readily than currently. It also ensures that the AFSL and ACL holders who fail to undertake reference checking and information sharing regarding a prospective employee are subject to a civil penalty. The bill also aims to increase protections for consumers by strengthening the unsolicited selling anti-hawking provisions, including for superannuation and insurance products to prevent pressure selling to consumers. Well, I mean, we're already forced to do superannuation anyway, but okay, there you go. Introducing a deferred sales model for add-on insurance products to promote informed purchasing decisions and prevent inappropriate sales of add-on insurance. Making the handling and settlement of insurance claims a financial service, which will require insurers to behave honestly, effectively and fairly and comply with other licensing obligations to improve claims handling practices. Prohibit the trustee of a superannuation fund from having a duty to act in the interest of another person, other than those arising from their duties as a trustee of a superannuation fund, and allowing provisions in financial services industries codes to be enforceable, with breaches attracting civil penalties, ensuring better adherence to industry and certainty for consumers. Speaking after the legislation was introduced, Treasurer Josh Frydenberg commented, "The legislation is another major step forward in completing the implementation of the Hayne Royal Commission. These changes will be complemented by providing further clarity regarding the role of the regulators and enhancing the requirements of financial institutions reporting breaches of the law, which will ensure significant misconduct is reported and investigated sooner. With the introduction of these recommendations, the government is now focused on completing implementation of the remaining recommendations of the Hayne Royal Commission, consistent with the updated implementation roadmap issued following the onset of COVID-19. The CEO of the Australian Banking Association said that the banks were ready for the next phase of implementation of Royal Commission recommendations, adding, "Australian banks have already been acting on the findings of Commissioner Hayne and remain fully engaged for this next phase. Banks have partnered with the government during the pandemic to support consumers, the economy, and look forward to continuing this engagement as the Royal Commission legislation is considered," she said. So there we have it, everyone. What do you think about this? Do you think it will be a benefit for consumers? I mean, frankly, it seems like if people are shifting from one thing to another, well, previous misconduct in one relatable profession should already be captured and identified. If, you're a dodgy broker or dodgy financial advisor and you want to go over to another financial thing, maybe this is necessary. Or maybe this just shows how much of a cowboy sector we've got here in the finance industry. Just think about how much they earn for all the stuff they do. So what do you think, everyone? What do you reckon? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Do you think this will actually make a difference and provide benefit to consumers? I mean, you still need to have funds to take legal recourse. Often that is the impediment to getting justice in our system because it's expensive. So let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or Kucoin. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.